Python has provided one more inbuilt module that is called a random module. So the basic purpose of random module is to define several functions which can generate some random numbers. So mostly we can use these functions while developing some games, mostly in case of cryptography where we want some random number to be utilized, and you can generate the random numbers for some kind of authentication purpose. Now, there are a lot of functions we have. The most important functions are these four, like random function, rand int function, uniform function, and range function. Now, the random function is the one which always generates some float values between 0 and 1. So, and this 1 is not inclusive. I mean, it's not going to generate 1 at any point of time, but all the float values that is between 0 and 1. For example, if I'm writing from random, this is the module, right? Import asterisk. So we have taken a for loop here, and we can understand this range function is going to work 5 times. So I'm just trying to call this random function 5 times. So the output that I'm going to get here is, you can see something like 0 point all this, because it is going to generate numbers between 0 and 1. But we will not be getting anything 1.0 something. Okay, so everything will be between 0 and 1. So these are some sample output. So if we take the same program and try to run one more time, we might not be getting the same set of values because it is going to generate some random numbers. Now, rand int function, it mostly generate the random integer between two given numbers, and the number that I'm going to give as a second one, or the stop value, that is inclusive. So previously we have got only float values, that too only between 0 and 1. But here you have a flexibility to write down the beginning and the end value within which the random numbers are to be generated, and they are going to be only integer values. So once again we have imported all the methods. You can just write only rand int also here, specific member. Now once again this for loop is going to work 5 times, and what we have done here, we have called this rand int on 1,50. So between 1 and 50, including 50, because it is inclusive now. Okay, so this is going to generate random integer values between 1 and 50. So like we have got some random numbers here 5 times, because we have taken this for loop to work only 5 times. So rand int will be executed 5 times. So each time it executed, it has produced one value randomly, which may include this last value also. The uniform function is also going to behave like rand int, but here it is going to generate some float values, and we can set some range from between which two numbers, and the end number is not inclusive here. Say for example, we have taken this for loop once again, and here we are calling uniform function with 1,50. So because 50 here is not inclusive, but what does it do? It generates only the float values. So all the float values that are been, sorry, it is going to be a float actually. Okay, so all the float values between 1 and 50. So some values, because these are random numbers, like we said, we cannot guarantee that these are the only values that I'm going to get every time. So some random values are going to be generated, but they are all going to be float values, and the last value, I mean the stop value, is not inclusive over here. The rand range function is the one which is going to generate a random number between a particular start and stop. So as you can see once again, so this start is inclusive, but the stop is not inclusive. And the syntax is rand range start stop step. So here the start and step are optional. If you do not mention the start, then the default value is your 0. If you do not mention the step value default is your 1. So now let us see. Here I am calling this range function by specifying only the stop value. So there is no start, there is no step. So by default, it is going to take everything that is from 0, because start value is not given here. So from 0 and till less than 10, that is up to 9. So between 0 and 9, any 5 numbers would have been generated, because here I have taken the for loop as range of 5. So this will execute only 5 times. Now, let's say here we have taken another format, that is 1, 11. So now we have specified the start, we have specified the stop. So what is missing here? The step argument. So by default, the step argument is 1. So now this range is going to find out all the numbers between 1 and 11, but not including 11. So between 1 and 10 I can. So you can get here 10, okay, 6, some 4, 4, 2. So we do not guarantee, right? So every time we say this is a random values being generated, but we know that the values will be starting from 1 goes up to 10. Similarly, the third one, you can see here we have written the start value, the stop value, as well as the step value. So in this case, I'm going to get all the numbers which is between 1, and because 11 is not included, up to 10. So between 1 and 10, I'm going to get all the numbers which are odd numbers. Why? Because every time the step value is 2. So you can see all these I'm getting here is nothing but your odd numbers.